Hello slimy furtlers, it's been a while since I did any kind of toy stroke action figure thing, so thought I might as well do this one. Now, a lot of people will probably remember when I said I wasn't going to buy any more Doctor Who related stuff, and well, I've managed to keep that up for a while, but the release of this set, the 2020-2021 releases, which are all now B&M exclusives. I don't know why that is, but you know, sort of got me wanting to buy a couple of the Doctor Who related things. This is the B&M exclusive Unit 1975, although there's a lot of dispute over where the unit stories in Doctor Who were actually set. They could be set during the 70s, they could be set during the 80s. Nobody really knows, but yeah, this was a set released to showcase, you know, Unit and the Doctor, obviously, as they appeared in the serial Terror of the Zygons, which I don't remember much about off the top of my hand. It's been a long time since I've seen it. But yeah, so we've got 3 figures in this box, which I picked up at B&M for the Princess sum of £5. It was marked on the shelf as being, I think it was £8.99, but when it went through the till, it came up as a £5. I'm happy, I didn't say anything. There. So what we've got here is a obviously 3-figure set. We've got here is a unit soldier, who at the first I thought that was actually supposed to be the Brigadier. I mean, we've got a Brigadier figure here, and he does look quite similar, except that whereas the Brigadier has a pencil tash, this guy has a droopy tash. I thought it was like a Brigadier figure in, you know, in combat fatigues instead of his sort of like formal uniform like he's got here. But no, it isn't. It's just a generic unit soldier. Then in the middle we've got Tom Baker as the 4th Doctor, wearing a tam o' shanter and a tartan scarf. And then finally we've got Sergeant Benton, and this is the reason why I actually bought this. I couldn't care less about these. I couldn't care much less about these two. I wanted Sergeant Benton because you know, no good British officer is any use without his sergeant, and now we've got the Brig and Sergeant Benton is like that. And as we can see here, you know, they're still in the box, and the Brigadier is very anxious for the Sergeant to put in an appearance. So we'll just have a quick look at the box, how it is. Oops, Brigadier's drunk. So yeah, the box is just basically a thing there. You know, you've got all the stuff at the bottom here, all the usual things: warning, choking hazard, character options limited, you know, and then the contents of the box. 4th Doctor with tam o' shanter and tartan scarf accessory, 1X unit Sergeant John Benton, they spelled Sergeant wrong. John Benton figure with SSMG accessory. When it says SSMG, it means Sterling submachine gun. Then 1 unit soldier action figure with SSMG accessory. I would have thought that if it's supposed to be a unit soldier, he should really be equipped with an SLR rifle accessory and not a submachine gun, because submachine guns were generally only issued to sergeants or officers in the British Army. Your average guy, you know, your average trooper, private, you know, whatever, didn't really have, wasn't really issued generally with a submachine gun. On the other side we've got there just another thing there saying what's in there, and then on the back we've got the pictures of the stuff that's in there, except it doesn't show the accessories, which kind of confused me when I looked at that on the back, and then I looked at the bottom and it said that the unit soldier had the submachine gun, but then when you look on the front you can't actually see the submachine gun. That's because it's hidden here behind the cardboard and the sticker thing. So I was like, I thought they were meaning, you know, like just this one here to be shared between the two of them, which is never nice. If you're going to put accessories, you can put 3 figures in a thing, give them all a fucking accessory if you're doing that. But yeah, top of the box, and you know, just with the current Doctor Who logo, and that's it. So yeah, so like I say, the other figures that came out for the, you know, this year's range was all the ones I've seen anyway. I've seen there's a 2 Dalek set from the Chase, I think it is, but I don't know anything else. So let's get this open. Where are we opening it? The top. Let's get it open. Pop. I actually bought this about 6 weeks ago. It's just I've only just sort of got round to looking at and opening it because I've had a lot of other things on my mind recently. You know, my brush with COVID and all the problems that's gone along with that. Less said about that, the better. So yeah, there we go. That's the thing open. As we can see here, we have the. I'll just put my hand behind that. Yep, you can see the second sterling in there, and then the 3 figures. Thankfully, let me just have a check. Oh no, there is. I was going to say no twisty ties, but there is. They've just hidden it quite well, and it's more like an elastic band thing. So let's pop those fuckers out, because I'm glad that they stopped using twisty ties, because they were just awful. It didn't matter what you were buying, whether it was Transformers or action figures of any kind. Those goddamn wire twisty ties, they were the worst. At least these like little rubber band things, you know, I've just got a pair of scissors here, just run a pair of scissors and pop there off. No fiddling about trying to figure out which direction you need to twist in or whatever, or then trying to get wire clippers and clip them. I know at one point some did use like paper string, and that was probably just as bad, because that wouldn't cut very well either unless you had a really sharp knife and etc. So let's start off with the Doctor. Why won't he come out? He doesn't want to be born. Come on, out of your plastic prison. Come on, Tom. Good old Tom Baker. Right, let's get these bits of rubber off here. There we go. Right, so let's have a look at this figure. First impressions, it's the build quality is just as good as any character options figure. Very nice. You know, it's not too kind of SH Figure Arts level, but is good. We've got the shoulders and everything. It's more bloody elastic band there. The shoulders movement, the sort of bicep swivel, elbows, wrists move. Head is a bit stiff, but then again they usually are on these figures. I presume you can pop the head off and take the scarf off. I don't like doing that at all. I really don't like doing that. I mean, I don't know what sort of joint it's in, but you can't take the hat off. The coat, no, you can't take the coat off either. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad figure. I don't like the face. I really don't like the face. I don't know why, but for some reason the Tom Baker figures, all of the Tom Baker figures, always look like they always look like the Doctor has got some sort of learning disability. His face is either blank or has a really dumb, confused expression on, except for the one figure that they did where he's doing his usual Tom Baker, you know, toothy grin thing, which was alright, but it did look a bit scary. Paint applications on here. He's got sort of grey spotty trousers on, boots. Yeah, not a bad figure, not great, not bad. Just don't like the face. So yeah, let's have him off to the side. Let's look at Unit Soldier. For a long time I've said that you know, the unit needed more figures other than just the Brigadier, because at one point, well, for a long time all they did was different versions of the Brigadier in the various uniforms and stuff that he had in the TV series. Let's get this submachine gun out. Oh, come on, get it out. The damn tape won't cut. There we go. Get it out there. You can close up of my hairy arms. There we go. Out it pops. So yeah, so we've got the Stone Supreme. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's a pretty good. Other than having a what to call it? Other than having a trigger guard around the trigger, spot on. The figures have a Yep, this figure does have a finger, so that he can put his finger on the trigger. Let's get that into his hand. See how it looks when it's in his hand. The stock under there, and oh yep, the finger. Yep, finger fits around the trigger, no problem. Let's see how we can hold it. Can he hold it like that, or can he actually grip it? I don't think he can. Oh, hang on. If I just like that, and then put the magazine into his hand, which isn't a particularly good way of holding it. That's not bad. That's pretty good, that, actually. Yeah, I like that. So this is just supposed to represent a generic unit soldier. He has no rank insignia on him, so I'm going to presume he's just a private. And oh god, yet more fucking elastic band. God damn it. Yeah, but he's got the same articulation: bicep, thigh, knee, no ankle, but yeah, he's got the elbows and everything there, and his head. Let's see. Oh yeah, his head turns with that characteristic character options creak, made out of very good material as well. It's sort of like most action figures are made out of these days, that kind of rubberized plastic, not solid plastic that can break easily and stuff like that. So I quite like him. Good figure. It's a shame that I do wonder if they will ever do just a box of generic unit soldiers. Just a box with 3 unit soldiers in. Different faces, different heads. So, I mean, this guy, he looks a bit like the Brigadier, except he's got a bit of a droopy porn stash going on there. Not a very thingy expression. He's just staring into space like he's seen a lot of action, and he's got that 1,000-yard stare going off there that goes into your soul. But yeah, the combat fatigues are pretty well done. He's got his camo jacket on there, and his his webbing with the big pouches on the front, which are actually for SLR magazines, not Sterling magazines, but never mind. I like that. I very, very much like that. So finally we get to the main action, which is Sergeant Benton. And first we'll get his Sterling out first, because that's a lot harder. So yeah, that one come out really easily. Yeah, come on, sod's law, isn't it? Come on, out you pop. Doesn't want to be born. Right, there we go. Popped him out. That round, because I want to actually put that back in the box. Get rid of all this fucking elastic band shit. God damn it. I was saying about twisty ties. Elastic bands are a lot better, but when you get to the point like this where you're having to pick pieces of it off, I wonder if there's any stuck. Yeah, there's still some stuck to the figure. Yeah, there we go. So there we are, Sergeant John Benton. Well, started off his first appearance in Doctor Who. He was in, was it the Web of Fear, and he was Corporal Benton. And then by the time of his next appearance, he was Sergeant Benton. He got a promotion, and he deserves it, because Sergeant Benton is a really, really good guy. He's a dependable, good old-fashioned British NCO, or non-commissioned officer. And there we go. So there we are. He's got his Sterling, and the face. Yep, looks a lot like actor John Levine. And he's got his sergeant stripes there. Sergeant stripes there on both arms, and his Sterling, which is mostly what he had in the thing, because, like I say, in the British Army, sergeants and officers were, well, it goes back to kind of a World War II thing, where sergeants and officers could, instead of carrying a rifle, carry a submachine gun instead. A lot of sergeants would keep their rifle because when you're on a battlefield, the guy carrying the submachine gun is probably an officer, so enemy snipers would shoot at them, and in a lot of times the sergeant was actually a lot more valuable than the officer, because the sergeant knew what he was doing most of the time, whereas the officers weren't experienced. Like I say, the British Army has a thing about sergeants, where the sergeants are a lot more experienced than the officers that command them. So any officer worth his salt would listen to what the sergeant said. The officer would come up with a plan, and the sergeant would say, well, sir, that's not really a very good idea. What I would do is this and this and this. And if the officer was, had a brain on them, they would, do that instead. Instead of charging at the enemy, you know, over open field with fixed bayonets, you know, wait till night, sneak around a bit, then attack. Yeah, so yeah, Sergeant Benton, he's basically exactly the same figure as our old generic unit soldier here. He's got the same fatigues on, he's got the same webbing, he's got the same trousers and boots. Yeah, boots are the same colour. The only real difference is the head. Obviously the head is modelled to look like actor John Levine. And is it John Levine? I know his last name's Levine. Alright, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Bloody hell, my brains aren't working much very well these days. But yeah, it's just the same figure apart from the embellishments. For example, the generic unit soldier has a unit patch on his upper arm, whereas Sergeant Benton has his sergeant stripes on his lower arm. They both have the same cap badge, which is the unit cap badge, and the same sort of British Army issued scarf around the neck, you know, to keep them warm. Oh yeah, he does have a unit patch on the left arm. Oh yeah, they both have the unit patch on the left arm, but not the right. So yeah, that's okay. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So now we've finally got a Sergeant Benton figure for the Brigadier to command. See, just round, see if I can get him holding the barrel, just to see if we can. His elbow's a little bit stiff. This is the problem when you're dealing with new action figures. You have to be careful because they've been sat in the boxes for so long, the joints get a bit stiff and dodgy, and if you're not careful you can end up twisting off limbs, breaking limbs, stuff like that. I've had that happen a couple of times to me before, and I wasn't very pleased when it happened. One of the best ways to unstiffen stiff joints is on this type of material, you know, this rubberized plastic. I mean, for example, there I just bent his knee, and his knee is sort of popping open. That shouldn't have a gap that wide in it, so I need to be careful. If you look at the back, his knee is, it's a little bit of a QC issue there, but nothing can do. I'll just have to basically nip that between some pliers to pop the knee joint back in properly. But yeah, the best way of doing it is to soak it in warm water. Soak it in warm water, it softens the material up slightly, and you know, then you get all the limbs moving, and it washes any of the residual, you know, mold. Because basically all these pieces are molded and then put together. Oh, he can sort of do the split, so he can kind of. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good pose. Wide-legged pose, holding his submachine gun there, ready to shoot somebody. You know, a Dalek, a Cyberman, a Yeti, or something like that. The only problem is the face, kind of. You know, when you're standing like that and you're like, "Oi, you, pack it! Oi, you, surrender now!" You know, that's not the face that you wear when you're commanding people to surrender. Yeah, but there we go. So yeah, I'll put him. Let's see if we can get a bit of a scene going here. We've got our other guy there, and let's put the brig in the middle. I do have different versions of the Brigadier figure. The first one I popped out of my box, where I've put all my Doctor Who stuff since I put it away. The first one was the 60s, or the version of the Brigadier that was in the Web of Fear, with his standard kind of brown or tan uniform on that looks a lot like the SAS uniform. That doesn't really fit with these figures, because these are kind of, you know, 3rd and 4th Doctor era unit guys, where they wear much more recognisable military dress. But yeah, that looks pretty good, that, yeah, Brigadier and a unit soldier, you know, and Sergeant Benton always you know, they're ready to listen. You know, it'd be Sergeant Benton, you know, yes sir, and there we go. Do I have a Captain Yates? I don't think I have a Captain Yates. I'm not sure, but yeah, they were the main 3 figures. There was the Brigadier, obviously, and then Captain Mike Yates, who left the unit after the incident with the dinosaurs, and then Sergeant Benton, Corporal Benton, who became Sergeant Benton, who then became Warrant Officer Benton, basically. Sergeant Major. He would be, you know, Sergeant Major, but officially his rank is Warrant Officer Sergeant Benton. By the end of the series, by the time of the Can't remember. By the time of I think it was the 5th Doctor, Peter Davison era, the Brigadier confirmed that Sergeant Benton had left and became a car salesman. Probably after all those years in unit and seeing all the fucked up shit he did, he decided he wanted to sell cars instead. So yeah, there we go. That's the Terror of the Zygons set. I'll just bring the Doctor back in because even though I don't particularly like this figure much, it'll go in the box. I might sell it, I don't know. But yeah, so the Terror of the Zygons set, pretty good set if you can get it for a £5, and goes very nicely with the unit stuff. Yeah, thumbs up from me. See you later, folks.